Weasel News live at Channel 14, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ben Harvey has just been found between an altercation between the TNB movement and Los Santos Police Department.
So, Mr. Harvey was taken to hospital after being found. He was chained to a camera in a facility, and when we breached in, I identified myself as LSPD. He shot back, and we shot at him, believing he was one of the TMB guys. After which, when we got closer, we noticed the chains, and I also noticed mumbling under. To which I tore off the mask and realized it was Ben underneath with tape on his mouth. So that's when I screamed for medical.
All right,
and
sir,
all
let's
police
get you in
response. And obviously medical turned up on scene. At that time, obviously, Mr. Harvey was stabilized and then taken to Mount Zona Hospital, where we are now. And obviously myself, I got an officer to put a tourniquet around my arm because I was shot in the shoulder and arm, but Mr. Harvey was obviously the priority in this call. After which, it seems like he's making a good recovery behind me.
All 52s are clear for now.
It's going to take some time, I think, to get over the trauma that he's experienced. However,
Let's go talk to King.
I think we've done well to get him back, and he is now safe.
This is Bendy Knees here with Weasel News. Tonight we are covering a hiking trip hosted by Mr. Timmy Tim himself. Currently we are waiting for more people to join us. Stay tuned as we bring you the live news. Here we can see the group traveling on their way, led by their fearless leader. At this time, it appears that someone has fallen into the river after being told that the group was going to swim across the river to try to get to quote unquote prettier hiking spots. We will keep you updated.
Oh my, he went through the waterfall. He got sucked in.
We had several individuals jump into the waterfall after seeing Mr. Tad fall, and they were sucked into the rapids. At this time, it appears that they are okay and are hiking along with the others once again. During the hike, it was suggested that they try to climb up the mountain to get to another path. This ended up in multiple individuals falling and getting hurt, although none of them at this time needed to be taken to the hospital. An individual has fallen off the mountain, and Mr. Timmy Tim has fallen after. We asked an individual who was there what he witnessed.
Timmy was standing on the side over there. This lady in the purple, right here,
You dare.
decides to push him off the cliff. I was like, why'd you do that? That's our tour guide. She goes, oh, I'm tired of fucking walking. I'm ready to go home. So that was the story.
That's definitely not true.
The individuals were rescued by Mr. Hantan, who so bravely risked his own life to go save them. He then transported them to Mount Zona, where they were able to get medical attention.
I think I broke my nose. I'm not sure.
You broke your nose. Oh god. Alright, let's take a look here.
That was our hectic hiking trip and the end of it. Mr. Timmy Tim and the other individual involved in the case did get medical attention. I'm Bendy Knees, this is Weasel News, and we'll see you in the next one. Before we leave, Mr. Timmy Tim has a message.
Damn it.
I'm so proud of my
Here you
children.
go, man. That'll be $300.
A hostage situation, gang violence rising all across the Los Santos area, and the funeral? Good evening, Los Santos. My name is Valerio Rossetti, and I'll be giving you coverage over these top stories for tonight. Our first story involves a man by the name of Hantan, who was held hostage by an armed assailant named Harry Swan. Hantan was rushed all around the city by Mr. Swan and being demanded for ransom. Mr. Swan, taking pop shots at some of LSPD's finest, was injured on scene and rushed to the hospital, where he later passed away. In other news, gang violence has been rising all across the Los Santos area. We came across one man who was slashed in the legs. He was rushed to the hospital in dire need of medical attention, but would soon find himself in a better fortune. This man, by the name of Mr. Monsoon, would be later gifted a house by Chief Redmond himself. Here's Mr. Monsoon's take on the story.
You know, it's been a crazy day. I started the day off today with waking up on the sidewalk with hatchet wounds in my legs, and then next thing I know, I'm in the hospital and being questioned by Officer Marcus. As you can see, right behind me here is this lovely house that I'm just getting a little emotional. I've been in this city for a few months, and I've been living, I've been sleeping wherever I could. And then today, Officer Marcus, he gave me this house.
What'd you do today?
He gave it to me. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to Officer Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. You're the real hero of this town. It's a true rags to riches story, y'all. It's your modern day Slumdog Millionaire.
Now, wasn't that a heartfelt moment? It makes you feel so good inside. Lastly, going back to Mr. Swan, the armed assailant from earlier. A funeral was conducted for Mr. Swan, who passed away in the hospital from multiple gunshot wounds. This funeral was attended by not only Los Santos Police Department, but by several other citizens. They each paid their own respects.
And I hope that you rest in the pearly gate. But
once in your lifetime, and while you hate him deep down, you know that he is truly a good person, because he may have done a few bad acts, but the good acts outnumber them.
And later, a gun salute was fired upon. Again, another heartfelt moment where the city all comes together. Thank you so much for watching Weasel News and our coverage for tonight. I hope to see you again soon. Stay safe out there, Los Santos. King News. This Zentorno behind me has been thrown into a gas station and blown to smithereens. What has all happened? I am Valerio Rossetti with Weasel News, giving you this groundbreaking story. Earlier this evening, a man on Twitter claiming to be The Real Movement posted a picture of this Zentorno being thrown into a gas station, explosions being had, claiming that the dragon was angry. To ask ourselves several questions. Who is this meant for? What is the message behind this? Is there any, or is this just gang violence rising up into the cracks? We're not entirely clear on the answers, but I want to assure every citizen to please let the Los Santos Police Department take care of this matter. As always, stay safe and stay tuned. We will keep you posted on what is all going on, but we are positive that this is not the last to come. Stay safe, Los Santos.
Insanity and catastrophe has struck the streets silly, as anarchy ensues on the streets of the East Side Ballers gang territory. The assumed terrorist, the Dragon, let their words do the talking over Twitter, with threats of violence against hostages they had apparently kidnapped earlier in the day. Pictures of their hostages on a bus were posted on Twitter as more threats of seeing all were directed to the East Side Ballers gang. In preparation, our news team witnessed the gang preparing something special. In response, an intense Twitter standoff between the East Side Ballers gang and the Dragon ensued for quite some time, with ESB responding in their own unique fashion, goading the Dragon to show themselves, sending a tweet that would set things further in motion. These are just some of the sights in the interviews we managed to score with their members. My good friend, what do you have to say about the situation?
Man, all I gotta say is this Dragon fella, he a bitch, bro. If he really about this top criminal, whatever say he doing, why he won't just show up and fight me straight up hand to hand? If he about it, just have him come through. This little ass shit, this a minor setback for a major comeback. That's all I'm gonna say.
Charlie Smyers here with Weasel News, and behind us you can see the absolute carnage as the notorious group and gang called ESB, the East Side Ballers, are attempting to use a roadblock method in order to stop the supposed terrorist, the Dragon. The Dragon has been terrorizing Twitter for quite some time, has been threatening people and taking hostage, it's presumed. And here we are, seeing the ESB hold down their territory with a classical roadblock. More coming soon as we get the facts delivered to you. Charlie Smyers, Weasel News.
In 2021, Los Santos was deemed the most dangerous city in the world. The rise of terrorist attacks, kidnappings, and cold-blooded killers. Watch the streets of Los Santos from LSPD's perspective. Cops, only on Visual News.
Hello, my name is Dimitri, and welcome to tonight's Weasel News. Kenton was attacked by a cactus. Earlier this week, Manson and Kenton were trying to do some BMX tricks.
Over bike and tried to jump it over the wall and failed miserably. And Honton ended up with a cactus in his ass and laying behind a settee sofa behind us over the wall.
Kenton had fallen out of his bike and landed on a cactus.
How is your gooch?
69.
My gooch is phenomenal. Maverick from LSMS really took care of my gooch. He's a real gooch handler, you know. If you want your gooch to be handled, definitely Maverick from LSMS.
Yeah, he knows how to handle a gooch, huh?
And then he asked me if I could do it. So I tried to do it and ended up with cactus in my back and hitting the wall quite hard with my head.
Hi guys, I am Bendy Knees.
And I am Marish Peterson, Weasel News.
And we are here today about to dive into the water. We actually have an interview with Mr. Harry Water himself, a fish who has been a victim of his family being stolen away from him by fishermen at Vespucci Beach. We're going to go interview him and see how he feels about this tragic mishap.
What you want, what you want, what you want.